projection that has Florida in the world is that it is Mickey Mouse, it is Miami Beach, it's all these beautiful people, but nobody see the inside of Florida. Florida is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the United States. And all that work, all that production on fruits and vegetables is being done by people from Central America and Mexico.
Hay que estar todo el tiempo agachado y es muy pesada también cargar un bote de 13 galones y con el peso del sol y se da cuenta.
The Here Solis study is a study that we've been doing in Florida for the last 4 years. So we want to find out, how does working in the fields, being exposed to heat, how does that really affect a worker physiologically? And with these workers, we wanted to see, will they take a core temperature pill? And that will let us know what their temperature is throughout the whole workday. Will they wear equipment to show us their activity? Will they wear a heart rate monitor, like the ones that runners and athletes often wear? And will they come and see us and let us have their blood and urine samples so that we can really get a whole physiologic profile of what's going on in their bodies while they're at work? Because once we have that starting point, then we can know, well, what's their current state? And then where do we need to go to make sure that over time we're all adapting to heat and making sure that we keep our workers as healthy as possible.
Y es un estudio en el que estamos midiendo el efecto del calor en los trabajadores agrícolas, pero
most people in the United States don't know where their food comes from. They have no appreciation. It just drops into the grocery store and there it is. And I think that's what struck me, having done a lot of occupational health research, the fact that we could have this invisible workforce.
A lot of people don't realize that most vegetables, at least part of the whole crop, are hand-picked. Citrus is hand-picked. You know, strawberries are hand-picked. And they got to do it by the bucket, not the hour. So you'll see them in the fields running back and forth, physically, literally with a 40-pound bucket, running to the truck because they get paid by the bucket. All day long, in the heat, in the rain, in the mosquitoes, it doesn't matter what it is, but they do it by hand. There's a large section of the population here in the States that will not do that job for any amount of money. Name the price and you won't do it. You do one day and you would quit. We need them. We need to, you know, it's tough out there.
Mi nombre es Jesús. Vengo del estado de Tabasco, México. Llegué hace 17 años. Las personas que venimos, como ella, yo, los vecinos, X personas, vienen aquí a trabajar. Desde hace 2 años y medio aproximadamente, estábamos trabajando en una nursery. Realmente lo duro ahí, el calor agobiante que hay aquí. A veces la temperatura ambiente está favorable porque corre la brisa, nuestros cuerpos se refrescan un poco más, pero las condiciones de trabajo son verdaderamente, en el campo son verdaderamente duras.
Mire, me estoy tomando mi tiempo para poder platicar con usted.
They come before work and they have a blood test done and a urinalysis done, and we also put equipment on them that measures their core body temperature and their physical activity and how hot the temperature is around them. And once they're done working, they come back to the office, and again we do a urinalysis, blood test.
Nos vemos. Nos vemos en la tarde.
Over 75% of the workers would come to see us at their pre-workday visit already dehydrated. The key indicator that we were looking for in the study was core body temperature. The physiologic limit that we were using was 38.0 degrees Celsius. Over 80% of our workers that we studied on at least one study day exceeded that physiologic limit. That puts you at a Fahrenheit temperature of 100.4. This core body temperature rise, this fever, it puts stress on the body. So it's kind of like, well, what would it be like for you to have a fever every day of your life, you know, for some portion of the day? We found that in our sample, there's an association between heat, or heat index in this case, and acute kidney injury.
¿Qué son las enfermedades por calor? Bueno, nosotros pensamos que esta es una buena analogía de lo que es una enfermedad por calor. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando con ese carro? Ahí los hombres deben de decir, pues, ¿qué le pasó a ese carro? Se sobrecalentó, ¿verdad? Ese carro se sobrecalentó. Eso es lo que son las enfermedades por calor también. Nuestro cuerpo se sobrecalentó. I've been working for the Farm Worker Association of Florida for 13 years. We are doing the trainings in the same communities where we collect the data. So even many of the participants of these trainings are participants of our research. So it's a reflection of their own reality. I think that bringing that into the training really make an impact. Preguntó dónde está el agua y le dijeron ahí está me siento mal, ve a tomar agua. Lo mandaron a tomar agua y el señor se pasó de donde estaba el agua y ya después lo encontraron muerto adelante de donde estaba el agua. Pero cuando no le pagan por hora, pues uno tiene que ir a la carrera, toma menos agua. Cuando uno va más a prisa, también genera calor. Entonces, por eso son muchas cosas lo que hace que los trabajadores agrícolas sean 20 veces más en peligro de fallecer por calor que los trabajadores de otras industrias. Que las enfermedades por calor se pueden prevenir. No tiene por qué las personas morir. Está en sus propias manos el decir, voy a parar y no voy a seguir.
I do not think anybody should have to worry about their work and being safe at work and getting sick because of their work. So I think that with heat, there's a lot more potential to work with employers to make their workforce safe.
You are a nursery grower producing plants. Are your workers considered farm workers or not? Yes, they are.
We don't have that in mind when they say you need to rest. Maybe your workers need to take some breaks or they need to hydrate. But now we have the data to actually prove why is that important. I believe like a lot of the challenges that come to them is not because they don't want to implement all these safety guidelines, but it's because they are not aware of the risks they involve.
Where the work has gone is we started off with surveys and then we started to do comprehensive heat biomonitoring, so we'd actually be able to see what's going on physiologically with the workers, so that from there we can plan some sustainable interventions for heat, because as we know it's not going to be going away and we just have to figure out the way to keep everyone healthy and productive in the meantime. So that's what the work's about.
You're benefiting everyone. You're benefiting the employee that's receiving this training. You're benefiting the manager that is understanding how to provide the best safety guidelines for the employee. You're benefiting also the company that is increasing in production. You're benefiting local and regional industry and economy as well.
The Farm Worker Association has in the past been successful at bringing employers to the table. And especially with the Ag Center, we hope that we can get more employers at the table to work on practices that lead to a healthier and more productive workforce.
Where we could start is just making sure that we have certain resources at the sites. Cool, fresh water to drink, bathrooms that are comfortable and clean for workers, and also places that are in the shade where workers can take breaks that aren't so far from the work site that they couldn't use them regularly.
I think as a society we need to believe in a culture of health for everybody, that health is a right that we all have, independent of your class status, independent of your legal status.
As a nurse scientist, I want to make sure that the research that we do is meaningful, because research by itself is just some data. If people don't get the message about the work, then nothing's going to happen from it.
Ellos sufren demasiado calor, más calor que nosotros porque ellos están en la viva tierra. que está calientísima y agachándose demasiado, de veras. Para ellos que cultivan las frutas que yo también compro, les agradezco.
Que los jardines que tienen ellos pues, son de estas manos que salen. Debe de haber para las personas que trabajan en el campo un poquito más de sensibilidad, un poquito más de respeto.